Do you find yourself dreading laundry day every single week? When it's time to take those clothes out of the dryer, are you frustrated with trying to figure out where everything goes and how it's all going to fit? Well, the real question is, are you using the space that you have efficiently, or do you need more storage? Today, we're going to be taking two closets, and I'm going to talk about the difference between decluttering and downsizing. Large. I do have an idea for those. Today is the day we are going to do or start this organizing project for this large, huge walk-in closet. And I got all my supplies right here. Got all my supplies. So I got boxes so that we can create donation boxes. I'm gonna take a couple different storage options. I got some over there and there. See which ones the client gets approval for that. Trash bags and hangers, because you're always gonna need some hangers when you're working on the closet. And then I got some tape and stuff. So get this all in here and we're ready to go. Gonna head over to the client. And yeah, let's get this party on the road. Before we go, I'm going to show you how else I have prepared. I have a little checklist for the things I needed to do before heading over to the client today. And then I have my project supplies, my project planner. Got some little floor plan things so I can draw out what their closet currently looks like, what the space currently looks like, and what we will be transitioning to. That way we have some visual components for the client to see and to know where we are in the process. Let's flip the camera around and I'll show you the details of what's on my clipboard. So we have just left the clients for a moment. We are going back to the store to grab the correct bins. So some of the bins that I got earlier are not going to work for what the client needs. I didn't get to do my measurements during the walkthrough. So like I said before, I just bought a couple different options so I could see what would fit. And the bins that I like the most don't fit the area. So I'm going back to get some different bins for the travel section. So we're going to create a little workstation on one side of the closet, and then probably on day 2 then I will get the correct bins for the shoes and that custom storage solution that I have for that. So I'm going to return what I have, get what I need for now, and then we'll get back to the work. While I was out, I decided to go ahead and grab my favorite grab-and-go healthy option, which was a kava bowl. Scarf that down real quick, and let's get back to it. So here is my project planner. Today we'll be working on a walk-in closet. We're going to be decluttering and organized. Should take about 2 to 4 days, hopefully. Then I have 2 storage solutions proposals for the client. That's what all of those supplies are for back there. Let the client know what to expect. These are the goals for each day. So where we want to be today, we're going to be going through the plan, which is the brainstorming, going to be decluttering and downsizing. And I'm going to talk about what the difference in decluttering and downsizing is. That's what day 1 is all about. We want to get this entire space decluttered. And once you see how big it is, I don't know if we're going to get it done today, but I have faith that we will. And then I want to have consent to film, so I'll make sure I get that from the client. And then if we haul away, that is an additional service that was not included on the original estimate, so I want to make sure I get approval for that. And then again, these are just the more detailed steps here, and there we go. The difference between decluttering and downsizing. So decluttering is when you're going to keep the items, you're just going to be reorganizing them and getting them in more functional usage. And then when you downsize, you're actually going to be taking away those things, and you're either going to be tossing them or donating them based upon, if you're still able to use them. So let's dive into day 1. It's all about the purge. Finally made it back to the clients, and the very first thing that I do with any project is clear the area. So everything that was here, there was clothes here, there was boxes here, went ahead, got that stuff moved, and now I'm going to go ahead and put in the new organizing solutions, which were these bins. I chose them for a couple of reasons. One, because they kind of match the wall color and blend in to the aesthetic of the space. And then I grabbed the client and we started going through all of the items. This is the portion where we're actually downsizing. So as I'm going through the boxes, I'm asking the client, hey, you need to keep this, does this need to go? And then we're organizing them into the bins in categories. So like items, like materials, like gifts are in different spaces, and that was that. Now we are moving on to our second clients, and the first step in this process was to go ahead and clean the space. So I made up the bed, I organized, the things around the bedroom so that I can have plenty of workspace, because this entire closet is going to get done today. And with this client, we're actually going to be decluttering. So the first thing, or the next thing that I did, was I started moving things around to where we could have more space. That those shoes that were there were blocking this walkway, and I really wanted to open up this area in this closet because it's kind of a tight fit, even though the doors are really big, or the opening is really big. Once you get in there, it's a very tight fit, so I wanted to open that space up. And then I started working on this center area where all the bags are, because last time I was with this client, I arranged this area, but they had so many clothes that still needed to be washed and sorted through. So now this is about 3 to 6 months later, and we're going back and working through this all over again. And I noticed that the bags were kind of not in the best placement. Typically, when you're getting ready to leave, your bag is probably the last thing you grab. So I wanted to go ahead and move those down to the lower levels. And then I moved the clothes around, just kind of categorize them by types of clothes: shorts, pants, long sleeves, short sleeves, active wear. And I just worked my way around the entire closet. So for the rest of this video, that's what we're going to be doing. When you get ready to organize a space, you're going to realize there's so many different ways to do it. But one of the things that's really important when it comes to decluttering is to categorize everything. That really makes it a lot simpler for you to remember where things are, where you put them. Because if you put everything of this style here, whether you do it by color, or you do it by style, or you do it by type, that's going to allow it to stick in your brain, and for you to remember, oh, okay, I put all the shorts over here. Oh, okay, I put all the pants over there. Oh, okay, I put all the scarves right here and the purses down there. This way, like I said, it kind of sticks in your memory. You'll have a visual representation of where these things are. So when you look to any corner of this closet, you'll kind of be reminded by what's in that area, because everything of a like type is going to be there. So as I'm going through this, I'm constantly rethinking, reorganizing, and gathering like items. For example, all of the hangers, I took all the empty hangers out, and then I would sit them in one space. So now I have a little hanger section that I can just go back to, and when it's time to start hanging the items up, I know exactly where the hangers are. All the same hangers are together, and then I know, what to use, when to use it, how to use it. But these are some of the things that I'm constantly thinking about throughout the organization process, and it kind of helps me to keep things in order. That's it for this one. We got everything reorganized, recategorized. So now when we start washing all the other clothes, we can go ahead and put them where they go.